This is Pinata Island. It's the most incredible place in the world, where living pinata roam wild. In the middle of the island is Pinata Central. It's the place where pinata packed with candy go, so they can be sent to parties all over the world.
It's time. Time for what, you ask?
It's party time!
Viva Pinata is a rare staple, originally released on the Xbox 360. It has everything you want. Happy-go-lucky pinata animals, references to other series, romance, that rare charm we love, and most importantly, mysteries. That's right, folks. Today we're tackling Rare's bizarre garden simulator game. This is the Mysteries of Viva Pinata, and you bet your butt this video is gonna be filled with fun. Sprinkling. We will be covering some of the helpers and people in Viva Pinata, but to start, we're going to take a look at the helper who helps water your plants, the sprinkling. You'll notice they are humanoid in appearance, but have a sprinkler on their head. At first glance, you think it's a hat, but they produce water? Where does that water come from? It seems to just well up from their body when they get excited. And it's a lot of water, so it can't just be stored up in there. I noticed they walk around my ponds like crazy, but their head is never submerged. There's also a watering can we can eventually get that never runs out of water. Perhaps this has been physically attached to their mask? Otherwise, inside the sprinkling's body is massive amounts of water that slowly regenerate via rain, walking in water and such. Sour candy. Jardinero, our resident garden expert, believes the secret to making a pinata happy is giving it good candy. So naturally, when Professor Pester, our antagonist, makes sour candies for the pinatas, it makes them unhappy. Well, actually it makes them sick. The question is, if candy's what's inside of these pinatas, how was sour candy made? They seem to be a product of sour pinatas and ruffians. Sour pinatas are the result of pinatas getting grumpy, angry, and generally unhappy, so potentially any pinata that gets to that level could become sour. These pinatas regurgitate sour candy from within. It states that Pester took shortcuts to achieve his goals in the garden. I think he may have tortured these creatures, which is why he's banned from the garden. It also begs the question, what's he a professor of? Maybe chemistry? The plain. In the background of the garden, we can see an area where there is a temple, and caught up in some vines and trees next to it is a plain. Eagle-eyed fans will recognize this plane. That's right, it is none other than Baron von Ghoul's plane from Grabbed by the Ghoulies. Evidently, he must have flown off after his battle and crash-landed on the island. I wonder what happened to him. But there's no denying that this is his plane. Look at this side-by-side comparison. Ivor Bargain. Ivor initially starts coming to your garden wandering around, and you have the option to give him coins. He is known originally as Ivor Beggar. He appears as a man with a walking stick and a large beard, but give him enough coins and he transforms into Ivor Bargain. Basically, his head inverts and his beard becomes his hair. The most logical thing about this is he wears a pinata mask and he just simply turned it around, but the previous mouth remains on his forehead. And not only that, I noticed when you go to his shop, he has two voices. One that talks to you, and then a completely different noise when you peruse his options.
It's no surprise to see a gardener of your stature up so early.
I don't think this was as simple as rotating his mask. I think Ivor may legitimately have either a split personality, one a beggar and one a successful businessman, or he's literally two heads on the same body. People or pinatas. Jardinero and his children are humanoid. In a world of pinatas, they seem to be people who wear masks? Or are they pinatas themselves? They aren't the only humanoid characters, as we have the helpers and other folks in the village. Some appearing like their mask is their actual face, and others with a noticeable face behind the mask that is very humanoid. Look no further than Doc Pachingo. I believe these characters are all in fact human. Just like in the real world, animals are used to make clothing, so they use the pinatas of the world to create outfits, whether it be with an animal product or the animal itself, and it seems like a mix and match to customize how they like it. Destardos abilities. While Destardos isn't the only character to demonstrate special abilities, he certainly displays the most powerful. In a world full of workers and maybe some basic magic like Bart and Jardinero, Destardos has several key abilities that make him special. First, he can seemingly levitate indefinitely. The guy doesn't have to walk or traverse anywhere, and if trapped, he can actually phase through solid objects. He has ghost-like qualities, almost. According to the lore of Viva Pinata, it's implied that this is Jardinero's lost son who was convinced by Pester to eat sour candy, and this corrupted him. I think like the pinatas, he got super ill and was left for dead, only to resurrect as this monster with supernatural powers. Now his goal is to destroy the pinatas that are potentially corrupted by the sour candy. He just doesn't want them to suffer the same fate he did. It's more humane to put them out of their misery, and that's why he gives you a grace period to get the doctor there. But take too long, and he has to intervene. Langston Lickatoad. The person that manages Pinata Central also happens to be a pinata, and a Lickatoad at that. Not even a super valuable pinata. What makes him special? Well, nothing, except he can talk in full English. I know the show is one thing, but in the game, at least the original that we're talking about here, no animal pinatas can talk except for him. The only noticeable difference between him and a normal Lickatoad is the hat he wears. This has to be where he is granted the ability to speak. Perhaps Bart transformed this hat into something really special and valuable that can allow him to speak. I wonder what would happen if it was removed. Would he just revert back? Baron is him? As previously mentioned, the Baron's plane can be found from Grabbed by the Ghoulies, but we don't see the Baron, or do we? A few things I want to point out. The original gardener, Jardinero, is hurt from an accident. Now he claims he was out on a big trip with the mother of the children, who is a ship captain. But we don't actually see this mother ourselves. Together they had 4 children, allegedly. Remember the Baron had a knack for kidnapping people? What if all these kids were kidnapped? If the mother even exists, who's to say it's not a person as evil as him? The only people who can seemingly validate the mother's existence are the children, and to be honest, he lived mostly alone with them. And now the kids live mostly alone without anyone, all seemingly having trauma. Storkos is the only one to live with the mother at sea, and she lives far away from everyone with little interaction. She just helps delivering eggs. Another similarity to the Baron that Jardinero has is his mask sort of resembles the pilot mask the Baron wears. Are they the same person, just a lot older? You decide. Pinata Monster. The true goal of having a garden is to acquire the Dragon Ash. One of the most difficult pinatas to acquire. It certainly is a spectacle when you do. But there's one pinata more mysterious and much larger. We only get one glimpse of it. In the journal, when we hear the story about the route Jardinero and Mother took to an island looking for the Dragon Ash, we get this image. Look at that! It's a giant pinata sea monster. Next to it, we can see a ship sinking. The size of the monster depicted dwarfs the ship entirely. What is this mysterious sea monster, and will we see it in future games? Perhaps a seafaring game? What happens at parties? We often send our pinatas to these parties via Pinata Central, but what happens at these parties? Typically you whack a pinata open and eat all the candy inside, at least in real life. We know our goal is to raise their candiosity so they're happy and have lots of candy, but when we whack a pinata to get the candy out, the pinata is gone, it's done, it's dead. It will seemingly reincarnate, but I mean, the point is we end it. So why do our pinatas come back? If they're just going to entertain at parties, why do they need more candy inside them? Are they really the same pinata coming back? Are they patched up? Something isn't right here, and that's where I'm going to leave you off, because that's all I have for you. Be sure to drop a like to help spread my content around, and subscribe because this channel is definitely filled with fun. Until next time, have a good one.
Jiggylookback!